This video is going to be super important if you're thinking about making a move here to Temecula, California. We're going to get into the total cost of living here in the city. We're going to get to all types of different stats. We're going to compare the city of Temecula to some of the surrounding cities, other parts of California. We're going to compare to some nationwide averages and hopefully give you guys all the information to help decide if it's going to be an affordable area for you to move to. So let's go ahead and get into it. Hey guys, hey again, my name is Justin Short. I am a realtor and team leader for the Short Real Estate team here in Temecula, California and Murrieta, California. And this video is all about the actual cost of living here in the city of Temecula, California. So we're gonna get to all types of different stats. We're gonna talk about home prices, we're gonna talk about average rents, we're gonna talk about utilities, and we're gonna compare to some of the surrounding cities in California, and we're gonna compare to some of the nationwide averages. So we're gonna get all types of information, but the first thing that I wanna mention, if you are liking the videos, please do me a favor. Please hit like, please hit subscribe. We're keeping these videos coming out once per week. There's all types of different videos about the cities of Temecula, Murrieta, and Menifee, all types of information about the cities and best neighborhoods and worst neighborhoods and school district and pros and cons and all that type of stuff. So if you are liking the videos, please do me a favor. Please hit like, please hit subscribe, and you're going to see more and more of our content coming towards you. So, and if you have any real estate questions, I'd love for you guys to reach out. I hear from people all the time reaching out to us, asking different questions about the area, etc. So you can feel free. You can call, text, or email. You're going to see all of our information down below, and myself and my team would definitely love to help you. So let's go ahead and get into the video though. So we're going to get into a bunch of different stats. Again, average cost of living. I want to kind of let you know where the information is coming from. So we are getting all the information from our local MLS, so which is where all like the realtor data is. We're getting from a couple of third-party websites, which is livingcost.org and Zumper.com, and so those are some really great data sites that are out there that help compiling this data, and that way we can have the right information to share with you guys. So the first thing I want to mention to you is the city of Temecula. So kind of where we're at, geographically, we are in South Riverside County, right? And so what makes us so desirable for people is for being in Southern California, it's a relatively affordable place to live. So to be here, you can, well under $1 million, you can buy a really, really nice home in a really nice area with a great school district. And again, relatively affordable. It's a safe area, and overall I think it's a great city. So I've lived here over 20 years. It's where I plan to raise my kids, and we plan to live here for the long term. But so as we start getting into some of these numbers, you got to kind of compare Temecula versus the rest of California, and then we'll also compare it on a nationwide scale. So right now in the city of Temecula, the average cost of a home is up to $743,000. So I think most people realize, nationwide, we've seen home prices appreciate quite a bit over the last couple of years, really the last decade, but really heavily, post-COVID, right? So over the last couple of years, we've seen prices go up, up, and up. City of Temecula, our average price now is up to $743,000. And then if you compare that to some of the surrounding areas, so I'm just kind of scrolling on my other screen so I can pull up some of the stats. So when we compare to San Diego, which is kind of our closest big city, so the average cost of a home in San Diego is $900,000. So it's over $150,000 cheaper to live here in Temecula as opposed to San Diego. And for that same pricing, you can get a lot more for your money here in Temecula. So the homes are bigger on average, they're newer on average, they're going to be more updated, etc. And then compared to Orange County and LA, both of those average prices are right at $1 million. So again, it's a $250,000 swing to live here as opposed to, again, LA and Orange County. So because of that, we have a ton of people that live here in Temecula that commute out, right? So they will live here and they commute to their job in San Diego, LA, Orange County, right? So that's a super, super common thing. Or we see a lot of people that relocate, that maybe they're buying their first home or their second home, or maybe they had kids or something, they need more space, and they come here to Temecula to buy a home where you can get more for your money, right? Because again, those $1 million homes in Orange County and in LA, you don't get a ton. It might be a 3-bedroom home, and very average neighborhood or something a little bit older, etc. So you definitely get a lot more for your money here. But when you compare that like on a nationwide scale, so again, average price home Temecula is 743,000. On a nationwide scale, the average priced home is up to 348,000. So that's almost half. So that means the home in Temecula is about over double the average price. So on a nationwide scale, yeah, it doesn't make the city of Temecula sound super affordable, but when you compare to the rest of Southern California, it is pretty affordable, right? So I think when we have people that relocate here, a lot of it becomes, what you're comparing to, where you're coming from, where that average price point is, and that'll really kind of help your budget. I will point out that a lot of people, when they move here, they do start considering, if they want something a little bit more affordable, they will look at some of the other surrounding cities that are close by, that anywhere from 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes away, that are going to be a little bit more affordable. So in our little region here in southwest Riverside County, South Riverside County, Temecula is the most expensive city in our area. So just something to know if you want something a little bit more affordable. The next stat we're going to get into is average rents. So as I mentioned before, you've seen those higher and higher sales prices, to purchase a home here over the last few years. When you see that, you in turn will then see higher rents. So the rent prices here have really shot through the roof over the last couple of years. Right now, in Temecula, the average 3-bedroom home is going to rent for $3,000 a month, and the average 4-bedroom home is going to rent for almost $3,300 a month, $3,295. So I mean that's a ton. I mean, honestly, 5 years ago it seemed like the average rent was half of that, but that just shows you how much things are changing. Utilities, that's a question that a lot of people ask me when they're relocating from other areas, is what are the average utilities? Right now, the average home pays about $230 per month for utilities. So we have trash service, we have natural gas, we have electricity, and we have water to probably 98% of the homes that are out there. So natural gas is probably the one. There's a neighborhood or two that don't have natural gas, but the rest, all the where all the homes are going to be, have all those utilities. And then of course, public sewer is going to be on 90% of the homes in the city as well. So, but on average, about $230 per month on utility bills. Your average internet bill is about $73 per month. And the next thing I'm going to get into is gas and commuting. So like I mentioned before, this is definitely a bedroom community where a lot of people live here and make the commute out. So people live here, they commute San Diego, LA, Orange County, right? And with that, you have to be super conscious on how much you're paying per gallon for gas. So right now, the average gallon of gas is going for $4.49 per gallon. And that's actually down quite a bit compared to over summer. So right now it's just about New Year's, almost January 1st, 2023. So to kind of timestamp that, but 6 months ago, I mean, gas was probably $1.25 more expensive. So it's probably closer to $5.75, $5.60, $5.80, right around that range. So we have seen gas prices go down quite a bit over the last few months. But it's just important to know if you're coming from a different state, right? You're going to pay some of those California taxes. That's something that you got to know. Average cost to eat. The average cost to eat right now for a group of 4 to go out to a restaurant is $100. So that's about $25 a person. That's just going to factor in, a meal and a drink. So that's for a group of 4, $100. And then a lot of the other expenses that that we have and that I want to go over with you guys are really standard for most of America. And Temecula is comparable to the rest of the country, so it's about average. So like grocery expenses, Temecula is basically on par, right? You're not really paying that big California premium here. One thing you are paying a big premium on is income taxes. So California, it's a sunshine state, right? You're paying that sunshine tax, and so there is a 13% income tax from the state. So if you're living on some different states, you may not have that. So that's something that you're going to want to know. And compared to the rest of the state, so the city of Temecula actually has a slightly lower cost of living than compared to the rest of California. So yeah, that I think that sometimes can be hard for people to hear when you hear, average home is over $700,000, et cetera, right? But compared to the entire state of California, it's a little bit more affordable to live here than the average. So there are definitely more affordable areas here, but again, you can be living in San Diego, LA, Orange County, or even up in the Bay Area where you're going to pay some of those super crazy prices. So overall, slightly more affordable. Next thing we're going to go over is average income. So obviously, if you're living here, you got to be able to afford all those different things, and that's something that people ask me a lot is, hey, am I going to be able to afford living here? And this is, hey, we're making about this. Do you think I'm about the right range to be able to afford living in the city? So I wanted to go over that stat. So it's a couple years old. This is actually pulled from the U.S. Census. So with the last time that was done was in 2020. So in 2020, the average household income for the city of Temecula was $99,000. So since then, obviously, we've had inflation. We've seen wages go up, right? We've seen groceries cost more. Everything is just more expensive than it was, just a couple years ago, right? So I would say the average household income has gone up, probably closer to about $115,000 or so. That's just my opinion, but it's definitely gone up a little bit compared to where the data shows back in 2020. So hopefully that's kind of all the stats I wanted to go over with you guys, but hopefully that gives you some really good references and helps kind of compare to where you're currently at to decide if Temecula is going to be the right area for you, if it's going to be affordable for you. Like I mentioned, some of the surrounding areas are going to be a little bit more affordable on that, that home purchase price, depending for what you're going to be looking for if you are worried about the budget there. And again, if you're liking the videos, please do me a favor, hit like, please hit subscribe. You guys can reach out anytime and hopefully hear from you soon. Thanks.